Yes, my name is Lokosio Ebenyo Julius. I was born in Laikipia County, Laikipia West Constituency, Ol Moran ward, in a small town known as Sipili, in Karungubi village. Yes, I was born and brought up in a let's say poor background. Yes, my father being a nomad, and at the age of around 6, I started schooling at a small school known as Laikipia Primary School, where at times paying school fees was a challenge. So the head teacher had to look for some well-wishers who at times paid my school fees. I worked so hard, and after class 8 I scored 368 marks, whereby then I was looking up to the Wings to Fly scholarship, which I unfortunately missed, and I had to look for some other sponsors. Then luckily I got sponsorship from the then Minister of Agriculture and later devolution, the Honorable Mwangi Kiunjuri, for the best students in our area during that exam period. I joined Tome Boys High School in Nanyuki, where life was still hard by then, but due to the facilitation by the CS and other well-wishers and donors, I was able to undertake my 4 years high school education. I scored an A- of 75 points, and that's how I secured a place at this university. Initially, I was looking forward to being a medical doctor, but it wasn't possible, as I didn't manage to score very well in sciences. So I went for my second option, which was law. In the beginning, in the very first days in the school, it was very hard at times to adapt and to accept the change that had happened. But through the help of some teachers such as Miss Valerie Kutima and some other teachers, I was able to settle in peacefully and to accept that what had happened. And that's how I found myself in law school, which I eventually found to have passion for it. As I also remember, this time when my father was arrested, though it was a forced charge, and so this pushed me to have that thing of pursuing law. As in, why was my father treated such harshly, getting to being sentenced for what he never did? So finding myself doing law was part of a mission achieved. But then I thought I would achieve justice for my father. But now, as I came to pursue it, I found some major loopholes herein, and so I am still looking forward to bringing justice to the community outside and to ensure that human rights are not only on papers, but they are well implemented. I'm born in a family of 6. Our firstborn is a lady. Then there's me as the secondborn. Then after me there are 3 sons, and our lastborn is a daughter. My sister didn't manage to college or campus due to various financial challenges, and she had to quit at some point after high school so as to create room for us to continue with education, as by then my parents were not in that position to support both of us. I'm not only the first lawyer in the family, I'm the first one to go to campus and to study law. My father dropped out of school at class 4, when his school uniform was stolen by a visitor who had gone to visit them at their home. My mom was lucky. She studied up to class 7, and after her CPE exams, that was the end of it. I remember both my parents have been encouraging me to study. At times my mom tells me to not only read for my own sake, but also to study what she didn't manage to study, and she has been pushing me a lot. I've been performing well. I remember at primary school I've been the first one since class 3 until our KCSE, when I was defeated by another lady from a private school, but I was the second with 368 marks. Then after joining high school, I've been the first one since the first day in that school until the last day when we start for our KCSE. And I remember I scored 75 points and A-, yet the second one was at 67 points, a B+. I've been good academically. So when I started my first law class, I remember it was the law of contract by Mr. Peter Ogeto. So at first it seemed hard, and so I was worried if I would manage this thing based on the hard case laws, the hard constitutional provisions and the statutory provisions, and I was worried. And as I also looked at the lecturers, some of them on our classes, I was very worried, but I was also excited to start learning something which appeared hard but interesting. Allow me to dedicate this thing to both of my parents, my father. Yes, my father, thank you so much, and I dedicate this degree to you, despite you not having that chance to go to school, and despite you having dropped out of school, you've always been supporting me in every way possible, paying my school fees, encouraging me when we've had those moments of that boys talk with him in the house. This thing I dedicated to my father. I also dedicated to my mom, who has always been struggling to look for the CDF bursaries at our constituency, and to ensure my well-being here in school. I'll also dedicate this thing to my teachers, starting with the Dean, Faculty of Law, Dr. Ruth Aura. Yes, my thesis supervisor, Dr. Eric Masafu Wamalwa, and all the other lecturers in this school who have always held my hand and kept me moving forward. At times it was getting hard, but they made sure that I didn't give up. Yes, I'll also dedicate this to my brothers and sisters at home, who have always been my source of strength and encouraging me to keep moving and moving. And at times they've been showing the trust that they have in me. You know, at times when you feel down, there's someone there trusting in you and telling you that indeed you can manage this thing. So I dedicate it to them. I also dedicate this thing to my group of study. We always refer to ourselves as the Pentatonics Brothers. Yes, I dedicate this thing to, let me mention them by names, to Charles Waithaka Njeri, is my friend from Nyeri County. Yes, to Anthony William Kanani, my friend from Kisii County. To Alan Kiptu Morori from Baringo County. To Isaac Mwazia Mudhemba from Nairobi County. To Peter Runo Gitonga from Nairobi County also, and to Bradley Wafula Wanyama from Bungoma County. They have been my brothers whom we've been doing study together, learning from them as they also learn from me as we share. And I thank God that this day we are graduating together as a group. So thank you so much, brothers, and this one is as much yours as it is mine, for we kept moving and holding our hands together. Yes, I remember one of our brothers, Charles Waithaka, used to tell us that alone you can move faster, but together we can move far. So thank you so much, brothers, and this one is yours, and I celebrate you on this day. I also dedicate this one to the rest of my classmates who have been here around. Yes, thank you so much for the help that you gave me during the 4 years. Thank you for the mentorship from some of you. Thank you for the leadership in the various assignments in class, and thank you for the trust and belief and all the support that you gave me. Before joining law school, I remember I had a bad thing for lawyers at first, and then I also saw law as something that was only meant for the kids from the rich backgrounds, and it was very hard for someone such as I, who came from a very humble background, to enter law school and to come out successfully. Yes, this being caused by the reason that in our small village, we've never had a lawyer before, as I'd said previously. So to me, it was like a dream, something I could not achieve, or something that was reserved for the students from the big schools, big backgrounds. But after joining law school, indeed it is possible. No one is limited, and once you work hard with dedication and commitment, it is possible. Yes, and all of us can be lawyers with focus and determination. I think this school has the best lecturers, so I can mention some as I give a brief report on how they were supportive during that journey. Yes, let me start with the Dean, Dr. Ruth Aura. She has been so supportive. Yes, I remember during her classes of the property law and conveyancing, and also in the gender and relations class, where we used to have the insightful discussions in class. Yes, she also used to organize moots for us to better our advocacy skills and our research skills. Yes, and thank you for her also for organizing the various academic trips that we had to other institutions for mooting activities. Yes, we've been to various institutions of learning, and where we went for mooting activities, at times for debates, and we used to learn a lot. Yes, also allow me to thank the founding dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Michael Wabwile. He has been a vital part in my legal journey in the school, and also to others. He has always been there to share with us the history of the law school, where we came from, and the direction where he sees us in the years to come. Yes, and I thank him for the commitment and sacrifice he has been making, at times coming to school late in the evening, so as to ensure that no moment was lost, and we learned to maximum. Dr. Masafu Eric, he's the one indeed who brought that passion in me to learn more about our environment, especially in that area of my thesis, where we were exploring the balance between the sustainable development and the conservation of biodiversity. So he has been instrumental in my legal journey in the school, and he has always been talking to us. Allow me to thank the head of department, Dr. Maxwell Miyawa, who has always been crucial in this, and all the other lecturers, Ms. Mogere, Peter Ogeto, and also the late Charles Getanda. They have been very supportive, and they've been very good people, and at times they used to go out of their way to ensure that we were well in school. I'm very interested in matters of human rights. Yes, we live in a society where at times we've been victims of human rights abuses. Yes, especially having come from a marginalized community. I've seen how at times the people from our own area, they have been having challenges with the very basic rights. Let's say the basic right of education has become a challenge in our area. Things like the right to safe water for drinking, things like the right to access of a health facility has been a big challenge there, and I need to equip myself to get into those avenues where I can advocate for the rights of the marginalized communities. I'm also very much interested in matters environment, where, as stated earlier, I did a dissertation and a good research on environmental law. So at these times when climate change is a big problem for the whole world, so I need to see how I can contribute to climate change mitigation and environmental justice. Yes, I'm also interested in matters constitution, so we need to make our constitution work for each and every one of us. Yes, so generally I'm more into human rights and environment, but I'm also interested in other areas of law, including the corporate, for indeed we need to have a good society for each and every one of us to dwell in peacefully. In my law school, the biggest challenge has been finances. Having been born and brought up in a humble background, at times raising the school fees has been a big journey. Allow me to thank the government of Kenya for the High Education Loans Board, the HELB, which was catering for a big part of my school fees. Allow me to thank the CDF of Laikipia West. Almost all the semesters I had a bursary from Laikipia West CDF. Yes, so it could cushion a big part of the school fees. Yes, also allow me to thank my village mates. Yes, we've organized various harambes at home where our friends and our neighbors have played a big part in raising part of my school fees, especially during my second year and third year when there was drought and we had lost a big part of our herd back at home. Neighbors and village mates back at home, kudos and thank you so much for what you did. Also had a challenge of accommodation. Yes, I remember when I came here during my second year, I'd decided to find some rentals somewhere close to the school, but raising the rent was a problem. So I had to retract and go back to, there's an area known as Beeston. So at Beeston, there's my grandmother's home there. Though abandoned, I had to go back and make it a safe place for me to stay for my 3 years here in university. That is during my second year, third year, and fourth year. Yes, there it was cheap, but it was also very far. Yes, from here to Beeston it's around 5 kilometers. Yes, I remember times, especially during the rainy seasons, I had to bear up with the heavy rains so as to make sure that I came to school and also went back home. But I also want to thank my friend Charles Oidaka once more and Bradley Wanyama for at times when we used to leave school very late in the evening, they used to host me in their rooms. So thank you so much to my friends for that. Yes, that's how I used to deal with accommodation. Yes, at times food also became a challenge. And I had to talk with the congressperson of the school, Mr. Stephen Boyer, for a meal card. And I also want to thank the school for that opportunity and for that privilege that they given to us to have that meal card to make sure that we could access food from our school mess. Yes, so thank you so much to our school for that. Yes, at times matters connectivity was a problem because buying the data bundles to do the big research was a problem, especially when I was at Beeston Village. So how I could manage this one, or how I could skip this hurdle, I could come to school in the evening, especially before 5 during the weekdays, and on Saturdays where I could get into our school libraries and to access the school Wi-Fi and to ensure that I did my research, I did my homeworks, and I did them properly. But then the rent at the residences around Njokerio and Gate was 3,000. Despite all these problems and challenges, what kept me moving was the hope and trust that people had in me. At times, you could hear people from home, from church, at times calling you Wakili. So once you get that trust and belief in them, you had to keep moving. Yes, at times I remember when I look back into the society and see what my people are going through, I'm left with no choice but to keep moving on and on so that I can try and be a part of a solution to what they are going through. There was no room of giving up. Yes, by giving up, this meant that what they are going through right now could persist. So I had to keep studying, keep moving on, never get tired, so that at the end, I could try and see how I can bring some practical solutions to what they are going through back at home. Yes, also the support from parents, the support from my brothers and sisters here in school, from both seniors and juniors in the Faculty of Law, kept us moving on and on regardless. I remember there's also the mentalness and awareness team in the faculty, which at times when you get so stressed or so depressed, you can go into them, you share with them, and you get support from them, and you feel like moving on. Yes, also to my teachers, most of them have been there to share with them the challenges and the problems, and they have always looked into how they can assist me in various circumstances. I love reading environmental law books. I've read various books, and I also like reading the environmental law research papers that I've written, so that I can see what I've ventured into, and can also see the new areas or the new gaps in the environmental legislations that I can work on and I can contribute on. I also like reading environmental law books. I have some books which I was gifted from the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, which mainly focus on the human rights violations that they have been reporting since 2010 when we enacted our new constitution. So I've also been reading these human rights violations, and I have been seeing various perpetrations, and I'm challenged to come up with solutions or to contribute in creation of awareness where people can know their rights and where they can report such violations. At times, I hear people saying law is boring based on the big legal jargons. So at times, reading might be difficult. So I've been looking for different ways of making reading challenges with my friends where we could get a book and set timelines when we should have completed reading, and not only reading but understanding. So we could get a book. Let's say this day I could get a book with Isaac, read the book. Let's say for legal books, a majority of them, they are big ones. So read the book, let's say for a week, then get some time in between and try to discuss what we've read, so that as we understand the book together, we could digest what was in the books. Yes, let's say my experience at Egerton University has been the best from my previous academic journey in primary school and in high school. Egerton University is a wholesome school, or it appreciates wholesomeness. This is a school where it is not only academically oriented, but they also focus in other areas. So having been into Egerton University, I've not only been into classes, so I've been into a place where I have enjoyed mooting activities not only internal but external, where we've toured various schools to share and engage with them in these mooting activities. Yes, I've always been an active member of the debate club, where we've been also having the internal and external debates, and this has also been a platform to share and engage with friends from both the senior classes and junior classes. So for both mooting and debate, we started doing them early enough during our first days in school, until when we were done with our last semester. I've also been into the sports, where I've always been in the Egerton Law School Football Club. So also at the field, we could have the various matches and practice sessions, which also contributed to our physical growth of our friendship as a faculty. So I've always been into the FOLLAP activities. Under FOLLAP means the Faculty of Law Legal Aid Project. So this is a project where we take legal aid to the marginalized communities and to those who are underprivileged in the societies. So FOLLAP was a good platform for all of us as the law students to go back to the societies, especially in the slum areas around Nakuru, where we could get to hear the problems that our people are going through, especially those in the Kaptembwa area. And we could connect them with lawyers, and they could get legal aid. Now this one, it came as a surprise to me. Yes, as I shared before, I've been good academically, but I've never managed to achieve such a big achievement before. So in primary school, I've been aiming for 400 marks. I couldn't get that mark. In high school, I aimed at an A plane. It was still not possible. So at the university, first class, it came as a big surprise for me. I'm very excited. I'm seeing various opportunities in both in our country and outside. Having done internships, the legal internships at the Bowmans of Kenya, or the Colson Honey LLP, and also at the BM Usau Advocates LLP at the Reinsurance Plaza, I'm excited to see the various legal opportunities in our markets. Though I've not been into much of human rights and environmental law, I've been motivated to see that indeed we have opportunities for law students here outside. Yes, and in such a moment as I'd shared before, where matters of environment are becoming a serious crisis and a serious issue of concern for each and every person in this universe, I also see myself venturing into advocacy of the environmental laws and climate justice, as I also balance between human rights and the environmental law. as a young lawyer who has been very up into matters governance of the country. Yes, I've been seeing what has been going through, where at times they are not only vices, but they seem like national diseases, things, corruption, things, misappropriation of public funds, things, misplaced priorities in our governance. And I've seen at times the young people, the Gen Z, the people of my age, at times they have come out in large numbers to make their voices heard, especially during the protests that we've been having this year. But what I've been doing, I've not been into much of protest, but I've been into creation of awareness, where I've been speaking to our young people to make sure they understand that we need to have an orderly government in place. And so I've been trying to encourage them to make sure that they are engaged in voter registration, to ensure that they have the voting cards, and also to equip them with the skills that they can use in making the assessment of who is a good leader for them, who advocates for their rights, and so that they can make good decisions in the years to come. Yes, my stay at Egerton has taught me, number one, teamwork. Yes, here is a school where you work with different kinds of people. You work with your age mates in class, you work with seniors and juniors in various faculty activities, mooting, debates, research, follow-up activities. So it has taught me not only teamwork, but humility. It has also taught me leadership, where I've also been a leader in the mooting society, in the debate club. So Egerton has well equipped me with the leadership skills, which I'm looking forward to contributing in the leadership in the society. My greatest challenge was financial constraints. I've never met a lawyer pre-university. So this means from that tender age until my high school exams, I've never met a lawyer until I met this first lawyer who was a MP, and now the current PS of Defense is Dr. Patrick Mariru. So he's the first lawyer whom I met, and from that I was greatly encouraged that indeed lawyers can move places. We've faced various hard moments here in campus. At times there's a various saying kuinama. So kuinama is where you forgo various meals as you can't afford them. So I've been into kuinama for various times until that time when I got that meal card where I could access free food from the school mess. Yes, I've also been facing the various challenges, such as the rainy season, especially when I used to be rained on to move the long distance back home, and in the morning to school. I could not miss classes. I could not miss the exams during the exams period. So it was hard, but by God's grace, we managed. Yes, this first class is hard, what we've experienced in the Faculty of Law. So it's a rare thing. Not many who have had that opportunity to get that first class, but with the right systems in place, with the right teamwork with friends, with the right consultations with the lecturers, with the hard work, with the success, with determination, it is possible. And indeed, anyone can get to that milestone. There are various people whom I've been looking up to, especially in this legal journey. a majority of them whom have been born and brought up in challenging backgrounds, but these have not discouraged them from achieving what they are today. In a legal journey also, I've also been encouraged by the Professor Githu Muigai, whom I've also been watching him and seeing what he's doing in the legal profession, and indeed is a great encouragement. There are others, Kina James Agri Orengo, whom have not only been into the law field, but also into politics and governance. Anyone trying to venture into this legal field is to never give up. Yes, never give up, regardless of the circumstances. Keep pushing forward, keep trusting in yourself, keep believing in yourself. Never let any circumstance or situation discourage you or limit you from achieving what you aim to. Indeed, as one of our greatest sportsman of this country says, that indeed no human is limited. So my advice to the law students, especially those in their junior classes, is that you should never give up. Yes, keep trusting in yourself. As you keep trusting in yourself, ensure that you engage yourself with the right people. Work with each and every one of your classmates, each and every one of your colleagues, to bring out the better part of you. For indeed, alone you might move fast, but when you move as a group, you might move the farthest, very far. There's one word for Egerton University: keep supporting comrades. Yes, you've been doing it at your best, so keep supporting them by creating a conducive environment for them to learn as you've been doing. And we are grateful. You gave Egerton University a boy. Now a boy is coming back to the society as a man. So I can promise you that I'm coming back to contribute to the wellness of each and every one of the member of my community. I know and I understand the various challenges that we've been facing together, and indeed I'm still working and trying to come up with solutions for the various challenges. And your son is back. Love law, and indeed it's a good opportunity and platform to contribute to the wellness and the betterment of the society that we live in. Yes, whomever might be the outside to support me, not only financially, but mentorship, as a role model to me in this journey. Yes, you're welcomed. Yes, my next step from here, I'll be joining the Kenya School of Law for the Advocates Training Program. Yes, it's expensive. It's around 190,000. Not only the fees, but also the accommodation, also expensive in Nairobi. So it's also a big challenge, and any support might be appreciated. Yes, thank you so much for this, and I look forward to being a better person in the society as we aim to make Kenya a big space for each and every one of us to enjoy living in our motherland